guys, welcome back to another deck profile. This one is a very special one because this deck is actually the very first deck I've ever uploaded to this channel regarding DBS. It's a very special deck to me and Goku and Vegeta BR. Really fun deck in my personal opinion, especially if you guys love the movie. I do think this deck is pretty dang good. This is an updated version with red-blue stuff in there. It should really do well at local tournaments once they start opening back up. As for competitive scenes, not really sure about that. Haven't been able to test it obviously, but I think it can definitely win you a couple local games. So let's go ahead and get into the deck profile, talk about the leader and what it does. So activate main, once per turn, you can drop a red Goku BR or a red Vegeta BR from your hand, and you can draw 2 cards, and then you may choose up to 1 card in your life, add it to your hand as well. Really strong for Self-Awakening. There is a couple decks in the format that don't really want to swing at you, such as like Cell Surge right now, that don't really want to swing at you early into the game because they want to wait until they get out their Super 17 to crit you down to 4 life like that. So really good to help you Self-Awaken. And it's because it's an optional, you may choose up to 1 if you're playing against like an aggro deck. You don't have to take your life, and you can just kind of defend yourself that way and still keep drawing 2 cards every turn. So very strong leader in my opinion. Then your Awaken is that you at 4 life, you can untap 1, draw 1. And then on the Awaken side, this guy is really strong. His auto, whenever you swing, draw 1. And then once per turn, whenever this card is attacking, it's activate battle, you can drop any red card from your hand to the drop area. And then as long as you have 2 Goku BRs and 2 Vegeta BRs, both red, in your drop area, the next part of his ability activates, and your opponent cannot activate counters on cards with an energy cost of 2 or more. So nobody can Chompa the Trickster you, nobody can Vegeta the Cruel, nobody can Mach Speed Kaioken Goku, none of that for the rest of the turn. And this card also gains plus 5k and double strike for that battle. So this card's a 20k double strike when swinging, and your opponent can activate counters 2 or more, such as like Mafuba as well, forgot to mention that. Mafuba's not really being played too much right now, but there's definitely a lot of cards in the format right now that are counterplay 2 or more. You know, even Sleepy Boy Technique, which we're actually running in this deck. Sleepy Boy Technique's a fantastic card, and they won't be able to run it, or they won't be able to activate it against you in this with this deck. So really strong leader ability. Back when this card came out back in set 6, there weren't too many cards that it really affected, because back then all pretty much was Mafuba and Preemptive Strike. That's all we had pretty much. But now a lot more cards are affected by the leader, so it's very strong. So let's go ahead and get into the extra cards first, because there's a little bit less extra cards than there are battle cards. So for our negates, we have 4 After Image Technique, and 2 Is That All You've Got. These cards are very strong right now, especially in this format against swarm decks like the Jenks and stuff like that. Being able to minus your opponent's cards and keep it in the battle is really strong. And on the opposite end of minusing your opponent's cards, we also have 4 Beam. This is really good, especially against the Jenks, like I said, being able to boost your leader up by 5k to kind of keep him out of swinging range for certain attacks. Very strong. Then we're also playing 2 Combination Attack. This card is amazing. It's an activate battle. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 5 or less, bounce it back to their hand, untap 1 energy. Very strong, especially like I'm gonna keep saying this against Vajenks. Vajenks is honestly like damn near tier 0 at this point, so a lot of decks are trying to start being built to be a little bit more defensive, especially against that kind of deck. But this is going to handle a lot of decks anyway. There's a lot of cards that are 5 or less in this game that can get bounced back. As long as it doesn't have barrier, it can get bounced back to your opponent's hand, and you get to untap 1 energy, so it basically comes out for 1. The other really cool part is that because it's an activate battle, your opponent swings at you, they dump their hand on the combo, and then you can bounce it back, making this a very strong card, especially against decks like the Jenks that have like kind of swarm stuff going on. Next, we're going to talk about our check lands. We are running check lands. Makes it a lot easier for this deck. 4 of the Frieza check lands, you know, red-blue. Obviously, we're playing a red-blue deck. This deck definitely requires mainly red energy, so you really don't want to charge blue outside of a multicolor energy like this or any of the other multicolor cards we're running. So try to avoid that if you can. Then we are running 4 of the Beerus super combo. Draw power in this deck is fantastic. You don't really need to use any drawing power or super combos. There's really no need. So the Beerus super combo is fantastic because you are running a rival in this deck as well. So the Beerus super combo, being able to untap a multicolor energy on your turn, on your opponent's turn, is extremely strong, especially against a deck like the Jenks. Then probably the best counterplay in the game right now, in my personal opinion, 2 Sleepy Boy Technique. This card stops 2 attacks and draws you 2 cards. How does it do that? You tap 3 energy, counterattack, negate the attack, draw 2 cards, then choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards, up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, bounce it back to their hand. No energy specification, no cost specification, does not matter. Whatever card you choose, as long as it doesn't have barrier, it gets right back to your opponent's hand. That is a fantastic way to defend yourself, and like I said, you're also drawing 2 cards on top of that. 3 energy is definitely a steep cost, but in my personal opinion, I think it's pretty worth it to pay the 3 energy to stop 2 attacks. Now let's go ahead and get into the battle cards. We're going to talk about the Gogetas, the Goku and BRs first. So we have 2 Vegeta BRs, the 1-drops. The one drops basically do the same thing, but inversely. So the Vegeta searches for the Goku, and the Goku searches for the Vegeta. So the one drop Vegeta, top 3 for a Goku or a Veku. The rest of them go to the bottom of the deck. And then they all bounce back to your hand at the end of your turn. Then we're running 2 Super Saiyan God Vegetas. He's top 5 for a Goku or a Gogeta BR. And then you can choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, minus it by 5k for the turn. Then this is probably the best Vegeta card here. It's Sparking 3. Put the card in rest mode, look up to top 7 for a Goku BR, play it in active mode, and then you can choose a 20 opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, neg 10 for the turn. Really, really strong. And then for the Gokus, we have 2 of the one drop Goku. He does the same thing that Vegeta does, looks for a Vegeta and then or a Veku, puts the rest at the bottom of the deck. And then the Goku here does the same thing, looks for a Vegeta or a Gogeta BR. And then his activate main is that you can give him plus 5k for the turn, so he gets to a 15k. And then we're only running 1 of the Super Saiyan Blue Goku. He's not very great, in my personal opinion. He's good, just not great. So he looks for the top 7 for a Vegeta, plays that Vegeta in rest mode, so he doesn't get to do the Blue Vegeta's effect if you search the Blue Vegeta off of him. And then he can attack cards in active mode, and then he gets a plus 10k. So he's a 20k that can swing into battle cards that are in active mode. It's pretty strong, but not completely necessary. We're only playing 2 Veku contents under pressure here. You'll see why in just a moment. It's for the West to play an evolve target, but he's pretty strong. 15k comes out for no energy at all, and then if you want to play him, swing with him, and then get the cards back from your drop area back to your hand with his activate main. Very, very strong to do so. But the main reason why we play him is that so we can play 2 Energy Volley Vegeta Gogeta cards. So these evolve over any Veku with an energy cost of 5, energy cost of 3. So the Veku that I just talked about here, Veku contents under pressure. And what this guy does is whenever you evolve over a Veku, you look at your opponent's hand, grab a 35k or less battle card, put it in the drop area, and then he's also a 25k double strike. So very, very strong card in my personal opinion. For just 3 energy to be able to look at your opponent's hand and rip a card out, really, really strong. An alternative to this engine, if you guys don't want to play these 2 guys here, there is a Gotenks Unison that just came out. He's a red Gotenks Unison. Comes out for 2 energy, and then you can take away 2 counters from the card, look at your opponent's hand, and you can take out 1 multicolored battle card. So any battle card, as long as it's multicolor, so you can even take out a multicolor Sheik Rare if you like to, or any battle card with an energy card, or with the power of 10k or less. So pretty strong in that regard. The only other problem that I have with that card is that in order to gain markers on the card, you have to take a life to do so. So I personally didn't like it because the format we're going into is very aggro heavy, and taking your own life is already not going to be the best idea with your leader. So that guy taking life as well is not really going to help you out as much. But if you guys want to play him instead of playing these guys here, it's another option for you. This is going to be a weird choice here, but I'm playing 2 Veku Defective Fighter. I'd like to point out, you're not going to be able to use his ramp ability in this deck because the ramp ability requires you to have a blue Gogeta BR leader. This is a red Gogeta BR leader. I'm not running him for his ramping ability. I'm running him because he's a blue 5k combo, and he's also searchable. The reason being is because we are running an arrival in this deck that requires a red and blue in the combo area to arrival them in. The only red-blue arrival we have here is the Beerus Super combo, and that's not always going to be in your hand. It should be in your hand most of the time because you're drawing a lot of cards, but just in case it's not, I wanted to make sure I had some way to combo a blue card in order to get the arrival out. So all you have to do is combo a Veku and another red battle card and be able to arrival. What arrival are we running? We are, of course, running the only red-blue arrival I think there is right now. Actually, no, there's the Majin Buu and Hercule, but we're running Arrival Cooler. Cooler is a 20k double strike, and when he comes out onto the field for just 1 red energy, which is the most of the deck is going to be red energy, when he comes out onto the field, you choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards and neg them by 10k, and your opponent mills a card. Very, very strong. He's a force to be reckoned with. The reason why we're running this Cooler is because the whole point of this deck is you want to clear your opponent's board before 8-drop Gogeta comes out in order to deal 2 burn damage to your opponent. If you don't get to do that, that's fine, but that is the main point of the deck, is to make sure there's no cards on the board. That's why we're running a lot of minusing cards and a lot of cards that are bouncing things back to their hand, so that they have a clear board when it's our turn. So you can Arrival Cooler, neg 2 things by 10k, get rid of all the little guys on the board, and then the board should be clear at that point, or at least down a lot in order to get out Gogeta. So speaking of Gogeta, we are running 3 of the 6-drop. You have to play this guy first in order to get to the 8-drop. So the 6-drop Gogeta, you tap 4 energy, draw 2 cards, and then you are going to Union Fusion. So you're going to discard 1 Goku, red Goku BR, and 1 red Vegeta BR. Doesn't matter which one, they don't have to match as long as it's Goku BR and Vegeta BR. They do have to have the same power, but all of them have the same power anyway, so that's all that really matters. His permanent, this card cannot be KO'd, and you can only play this card as long as your leader is a red sand card and no other color. And then auto, once per turn, when this card attacks an active mode battle card, or attacks a battle card, switch this card back to active mode. So you can swing onto one battle card with this guy and then he'll restand himself. So you can clear, one dude off the board. Really, really good. 25k double strike, like I said, very strong. And then the most important card in the deck, the absolute monster himself, Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta Fusion Onslaught. This guy is an absolute beast. Peep the SBR card art, ahem, ahem. This guy, absolutely amazing. EX evolve over a red Gogeta BR with energy cost of 6. All you have to do is drop 2 red cards, doesn't matter what card they are, 2 red cards, doesn't matter. 35k, double strike, permanent. This card cannot be KO'd. Amazing. It is absolutely amazing. And this card can attack battle cards that are in active mode. So it doesn't matter what mode the card is in, he can swing at it and he cannot be KO'd. Auto, whenever this card will be played, as long as your opponent has no battle act cards in the battle area. So this does not include Unison. If they have a Unison card, it doesn't matter. If they have a field card, it doesn't matter. As long as they don't have any battle cards in the battle area, you can choose up to 2 cards in your opponent's life, put it in the drop area. That is amazing. And like I said, you choose, be aware of that. If you're playing this deck, don't let your opponent choose what 2 cards. You choose what 2 cards in their life they put in the drop area. And then auto, whenever this card attacks a battle card, restand it. So if this guy comes out and you weren't able to get rid of the board, you're getting rid of the board now. The only card that does not matter with this guy is if there's another card that says it can't be KO'd, like it's like another version of him, if you're mirror matching, or like a Zamasu card that's indestructible because they can't leave the battle area. This guy though, pretty much clears board, period. So you can swing at the entire battle area, swing at every card on the board, and then if they have a Unison card, because a Unison card isn't a battle card, you won't be able to swing at the Unison card and restand it. So you can clear the board of all the battle cards, and then you can swing at the Unison card if you'd like to try to take care of it and remove some of the counters. So that's really strong as well. But pretty much no matter what board your opponent has, aside from a Zamasu or a mirror, they're not going to keep that board. You're going to get rid of the entire board completely. You can just keep swinging over and over and over and over again. So very, very strong card. This is a very strong deck. Like I said, I've had plenty of turns where I was able to pop off turn 4, turn 5, and I had, this guy on board and then like 2 cooler arrivals on the board as well. So you're looking at like 3 double strikes, 4 double strikes plus your leader card, clearing their board, burning them with burn damage. Very, very strong. The only thing I would probably change to this deck is that there is a red Vegito Unison card coming out for 4 energy. You can, if your opponent has no battle cards in the battle area, he does the same thing that this Gogeta does. Take away 4 counters, you burn one of your opponent's life. So that's really, really strong in my personal opinion. It's just like getting him out onto the board is gonna be a little bit difficult because he does cost 4 red. He does cost 4 red, which is the same turn you're popping off with Gogeta play. So it's an option. He's not out just yet, so it's a little bit iffy, but that's definitely an option. So let me know what you guys think below in the comments below about this deck. If you guys liked it, if you guys want to see more, let me know. I do have another deck I'm working on right now to get out to you guys. I know we're not able to play in locals or playing card tournaments right now, but I'm trying to get as much content out as I can for you guys. I'm also trying to get out some actual live dueling for you guys, but it's kind of hard to get out and play. So if you guys want to see more of that, let me know in the comments below. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.